Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Steel Donut Collective. My name is Jelle. With me today is Bob.
This is my final intro line.
And today we're looking at a little Five Nights at Freddy's fanfiction because something... What was it?
VR just came out, right?
Yeah, right.
Something like that.
So here's a little Five Nights at Freddy's story. It's called Aftermath by Blame the Author. And Bob, why don't you give us...
Blame the editor, actually.
Oh, right, blame the editor.
We're going to blame the author.
Yeah,
because... Yeah, but... can I just also say, somebody recommended that we do a Five Nights at Freddy's story around this time because VR was coming out. I don't remember who it was. Sorry about that. I'll put it in the description if you leave a comment or something. Anyways, the description. A one-shot based upon the amazing song Aftermath by the talented artists of Caravan Palace. Only rated for mentions of death and murder. Warnings at the beginning of the chapter.
That's why it's
rated
rated
fiction
T.
Yeah.
Also, interesting to note is because, so the way we found this was we were just looking at the Five Nights at Freddy's section, and I saw under language options that Dutch was an option, so I got curious naturally. And there were two fan fictions. One of them was this one. The other one, whatever. But interesting about both of them is both of them have the language labeled as Dutch. Both of them are completely in English.
So,
and I don't know why.
I guess they just misclicked.
Probably.
When choosing their language, yeah.
Yeah, D-U and E-N, maybe, probably.
I mean, I think Dutch probably shows up, like, right next to...
Yeah, but the interesting thing is if you go to, the search option, like, for filter... and
it says Netherlands, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it says the language in the language, so... I think it does the same when you set a language for a story. I don't know. It's been a while since I looked at the uploading part of the website. But anyway, also thing to note before we begin. So Bob and I, we listened to the song Aftermath.
Right. We just finished listening to it.
And it's very chill and upbeat, actually.
Yeah, and there are no lyrics.
No, it's just like there are vocals.
It's like a little bit of doo-wop, whatever.
Yeah, it's more vocalization.
Improvisation, yeah.
Than actual vocals, so
it's a good
I
song.
don't know. Yeah, it's pretty good. I actually recommend
if you're into
looking
electro
it up.
swing,
if you're into that, but
yeah, not suitable for all ages. Warnings: mentions of death, mentions of murder, implied death scene, slight gore. Disclaimer:
you could have just put that under one warning.
Yeah, well,
whatever.
Disclaimer: this is based upon the video game franchise Five Nights at Freddy's. All rights for the characters in the world they interact inside belong solely to Scott Cawthon. Weird way to word that. We own nothing but the writing. This is based upon the song Aftermath. All the rights of the lyrics inspiring the writing are owned by Caravan Palace. Okay. They sample a vocal that doesn't have any lyrics.
No, it's literally
and if
just
you go to
if you go to
if you go to Genius, and look at like Genius's lyrics, they have lyrics that are different than the actual lyrics you can hear in the song, and I'm guessing they based it on this. But
probably. It's so weird. Like, it's just like we listened to it, and then afterwards we noted that the lyrics inspired this fiction, and we were just like, what lyrics?
Yeah, what are you talking about? So we okay, whatever. We own nothing but the writing. You said that already. Please give credit to those who deserve it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Wait!
James chases after the form that had seemed to drift over the ground. If he hadn't seen her passing by the office window.
Yes? Then what? Man!
Then he wouldn't have seen her.
I guess.
Why was his heart beating quickly? Why did he feel like something terrible was about to happen?
Probably because he's in a FNAF fan fiction.
That's true.
A FNAF fiction, if you will.
Yeah.
Don't ever say that to me.
I bet you FNAFiction.net exists.
Oh, now I'm curious. Maybe later. Ma'am?
The horror guard stopped inside the room. He saw a white dress disappear inside.
What? The what now?
The horror guard.
What is it? What the fuck is a horror?
So, like, Five Nights at Freddy's is a horror series.
Uh-huh.
So maybe because he's a guard in a horror series, he's a horror guard.
That's not how that works. You don't call a guard in like a comedy guard.
Yeah, you might. I was actually gonna go to that example too.
I mean, it's the only genre I could think of.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Can we go to a police procedural guard?
Well, that's just a police officer.
No, it's a guard, not an officer, not a police officer.
Okay.
It's
then
a guard,
would be a police guard.
Well, it's a guard employed by like a museum guard, except in a police procedural. So it's a police procedural guard.
Yeah. A police procedurally generated guard. One of the few rooms that didn't have any access to the vents, and directly on the other side of where he last saw Springtrap before sprinting after the drifting figure. He ran as fast as he could. It had always been fast enough, especially against the only animatronic he watches over.
I mean,
was he too late? 1 year.
What?
No, that's the next line. What? But then also it's our reaction. What was that? What any of that
going on?
So like there's like a ghostly lady, I guess, and then he goes to a room and there's no access to the vents, which by the way, sounds like poor ventilation.
Yeah, that sounds like a hazard.
Yeah.
That
right?
doesn't sound OSHA compliant.
Yeah. I mean the whole point of vents is that they
circulate air.
But then
also we don't know if the figure was inside of the room because we haven't been told yet. Maybe now, but we had was that 1 year skip? Was that him thinking about the fact that it has been 1 year since an incident of some kind? What is going on?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if this is a time skip or if it's just... Well, we'll see. What? James looks around the empty room. One that should only have a foxy lamp seemingly lunging out of the wall. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck that even means.
Seemingly lunging.
Not only that, but it should be larger, with 2 different openings to get into what would seemingly be a party room.
Stop using... Okay, so this is a thing I see a lot in fanfic. I never really pointed out, but there's so much of it, like...
It's not fanfic. It's just like bad writing.
Yeah, it's just bad writing where it's like people are like, it seemed like, or things appeared to be. No,
yeah,
you can just
almost
tell
as
us
if
that
you can say, and
things.
it's like, yeah, like when you want to add emphasis, they say stuff like almost as if you could say, and it's like the point of a phrase like almost as if is that you're saying that it can't be said, but it almost could be said.
Yeah, or...
It's not just about emphasis.
And even then,
there's a contrast there that's not being employed. Like, seemingly says, it would seemingly be a party room, but it isn't a party room.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're just... Like, a lot of it is just people just constantly creating... like uncertainty, like, is it that? And a lot of the times, yes, it really is that. In which case,
you're just using this to
like
fill extra,
or it appears to be. No, just be like, it was X. It is.
Yeah, it's
X.
like 2 different openings to get into the party room.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, like
it's because they think like a longer sentence makes it sound more literary or complex or something, and it's like it doesn't really.
No, you can just say, it has. It should be larger.
To an uncritical view, it might. To an uncritical eye, it might look like a more literary sentence, but like, there's plenty of literary opportunity in writing a short sentence that means a lot and means precisely what it says. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't need to give an example. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Hello? Is someone there? You're here?
Must have been the wind.
Must have been there. Whose footsteps are these?
The guard calls out, walking inside when it becomes clear, even with the few seconds for him to finally enter, he would have at least seen their flowing skirt disappear from sight out the second hallway. Yikes! What a sentence!
Oof. Oof.
Walking inside when it becomes clear, even with
the few seconds
for him to finally... Okay.
What?
It becomes clear that he would have at least seen their flowing skirt. Right? That's the thing that becomes clear.
Sight. Yes. Yes.
But then they added the phrase, even with the few seconds for him to finally enter.
Okay,
which I think means in the moments that he's entering, he should have seen their skirt. But he didn't.
So he is now operating under the assumption that whoever is the person
whatever
in the dress should still be in this room.
Yeah, and if they're not in this room, then he's seeing things.
Right.
But all of that is, yuck.
It's just written
and
in
then,
the
of
worst
course,
way
hallway
possible.
in, like, scare quotes for some reason.
The hallway.
I mean,
as we call them, a pretend hallway.
Yeah, or like if it's not a hallway and it leads to, like, say another room, you could just say a doorway. That's true. Even if there's no door, it's still a doorway.
Or if there is a door, just from out the second door, like maybe
the second
the
door,
door
second
closed.
entrance, the second exit.
Yeah,
there's like you didn't need to. God,
you could have even gone with hallway without the single quotes.
It's not like we're there.
Why
we
are those
don't know what it
quotes
looks
there?
like.
Why? Why those? Those make it dumb.
I don't. Was Springtrap making him hallucinate?
This story is making me hallucinate. Ha!
But even if the animatronic was, he could only make phantom versions of others. Okay, hold on.
Like a dress, like a figure in a dress?
Well, no, that's what he's saying. It can't make a figure in a dress because it can't make a... But, like, I don't know how James knows this. Like, the only reason we... players of the FNAF games know this about Springtrap is because we are players of a video game series. And we have, like, an overarching view of the whole series.
We're an
Without
outsider
that,
looking in.
Yeah, without that, like, the whole reason it's scary to the characters in universe is because they don't know what the fuck is going on. Mm-hmm. So, is it just common knowledge? If so, why do they hang around Springtrap? Why don't they just kill him?
Because, it's your good friend, Springtrap.
Like, the only reason...
It's your old pal.
So, do they know the murderers inside Springtrap? Is that a thing they know? Because he knows how the mechanics of how Springtrap works.
It's your good friend, the murderer.
Okay.
Good old murder pal.
Yeah. And only once had he attempted to make one of James himself, but it disappeared barely a second later. And the figure had a white dress, not broken down or withered away. Okay,
I don't see how that part's relevant, but okay.
Well, no, see, the Phantom versions were always withered.
Oh.
So this figure that he's seeing isn't withered, so he's like, oh, maybe it's not Springtrap. But, like, did Springtrap try to make a... Why? If I was trying to pick an image to spook you, why would I pick you?
I mean, Bob, listen. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty terrifying.
Of yourself?
No.
You're terrified of yourself?
No, I didn't say I'm terrified. I said I am terrifying.
But the only person Springtrap is trying to spook is James.
Yeah, so if James is a very scary dude, then, showing James what he looks like is pretty scary.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying nonsense.
Save them. But save who? Who was speaking? How can he help? No one answers, though. James left to glance at the... No one answers, though, comma. James left to glance at the spot the Foxy lamp should be. At the other end of the room... Jeez, okay.
Yeah,
no one
luck.
answers. just comma splice. James left. Okay, whatever. At the other end of the room, that seemed to be fading away as the darkness grew closer and closer. Period.
Okay.
It wasn't really growing smaller. His eyes were just having trouble being able to catch even a sliver of light inside the large space. His vision shortened.
Thanks for the 5,000 word explanation on
Just
that
a nonsense
he is having.
roundabout sentence.
You could have just said the room was getting darker.
Or you could say, like, his eyes were having trouble adjusting.
Yeah, anything really. Anything
The
but
room-
this.
The room seemed dark.
The
This
room
would be a
seemed to
perfect
be
opportunity.
fading away as the darkness grew close. Like what?
Perfect opportunity for you to say the word seeming.
Yeah.
Because it does seem dark. And this is seeming is a question of perception.
Right.
Something seems a certain way only when there's somebody to perceive it.
In this
So,
case, James,
in this case, the sentence is about him perceiving the room.
Yeah,
So you
and
could say, it seems dark.
he is perceiving the room to fade away because it's too dark to see.
Right, and he's not sure why.
Yeah.
Because I assume some kind of ghostly shit is happening, right? Like, he's not just got faulty eyes.
I mean, this is a FNAF fiction. It would be pretty disappointing if it turns out that the main character was having some sort of eye issue, and he was gradually losing vision.
I mean, that would be sad, but
it'd be pretty sad, but it wouldn't
not
be
scary.
Spooky. Ma'am?
He calls. One last look at the empty hall, and he finally turns back to search for the lost.
Corpse? Corpse, this isn't funny. Corpse. Is that a FNAF thing?
Maybe?
FNAF.
I mean, if you search FNAF corpse, you're gonna find.
Yeah, I mean...
I want to Google it too.
The main thing that appears here is just the first thing that appears is Springtrap.
Yeah, well... In FNAF 3, I believe there is a dead body hanging in the building, if I remember correctly.
I don't know. I've never played any of these or seen them.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's a dead body. So maybe this is again one of those things where why the fuck does he know about this?
Yeah.
He knows how the mechanics of the game work. Now he also knows there's a corpse in the building, and he just goes "Oh, corpse, you rascal!"
That or maybe, but he is still kind of suspecting Springtrap. Maybe he is talking to Springtrap, but he's calling him corpse for no reason.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't think anybody ever calls Springtrap corpse. I don't know. Whatever. All right. James glares at what... Oh, again, one of these seems. James glares at what seems to be a door blocking his exit.
You just don't know. You just said... You could have just said he glares
in this case,
at a door.
I don't think it's a door this time, actually.
Oh.
He doesn't know how the animatronic got it there. No, it is a door. Fucking... He doesn't know how the animatronic got it there without alerting him by making any noise, but Springtrap had learned a few tips of pulling pranks with eggs.
What?
That was a very badly worded sentence.
That too.
Also, I don't know why Springtrap and eggs were hanging out.
I
will say this author has on their bio page, they say this is an AU based on FNAF. Everything they write is an AU based on FNAF. That's why, eggs is separate from Mike, and, the purple guy is separate from William Afton, even though technically they're the same guy.
I'm just gonna pretend to know what.
Yeah, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
I'm smiling and nodding right now.
Don't smile. I'm just explaining for the people out there who are more familiar with FNAF.
Should I look
FNAF
more,
lore?
Should I look more severe and nod, or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very serious and scary.
Oh, now I'm looking terrified and nodding. Still
Yeah, there
nodding
you go.
though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I stop nodding now? My next.
Yeah, you can stop.
Okay, good. Spring, come on. Someone's lost in here and...
Send help! That's a ghostly voice.
I mean, that is a pretty italicized voice.
Yeah. The horror guard hesitates.
Fucking horror! What does that mean? Like, maybe that's a thing for this guy's AU or some shit, but it just looks so
It's
stupid.
a nonsense phrase.
The horror guard. Like, okay, so, you know... Okay, so dread guards are a thing, I believe, in World of Warcraft. But I don't know, I do think dread guard sounds a lot better than horror guard. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm just biased, but just putting it out there.
Yeah. The horror guard hesitates, a hand raised to knock on the steel door in front of him. So it is a door.
Don't you mean a hand raised to knock on what seems to be the steel
Yeah,
door?
what seems like a hand raised to seemingly knock on what seemed like a steel,
seemingly a door.
Yeah, in front of what seemed to be him.
In what seemed to be in front of what seemed to be himself.
The seemingly guard seemed to hesitate.
Oh my god.
The voice sounded so close, like she was right behind him.
Oh no, I'm spooked.
Ah.
Oh no, I quickly turned around and came face to face with a cabinet. Hello.
James whirls around, expressionless.
What?
As
Why
he finally faces
expressionless?
finally faces the figure in a white dress.
Why is he expressionless? You got spooked. You like clearly.
Nah, he's bored.
You whirled around.
Nah.
People who are bored don't whirl.
Nah.
Just you can quote me on that.
He's fine. He's whatever.
You can quote like on people who are spooked, open quote, they don't whirl, end quote, dash, my name. There you go. You can do that.
Yeah.
It's accurate.
Yeah, that'll be on screen. It was clear she was beautiful, cascading locks of brown hair, a dress fit for a bride to wear on their wedding day.
So it's a wedding dress. Okay.
She stood taller than him and with softer features. She looked like perfection.
That's subjective.
To get lost in her crystal blue eyes seemed to be an honor.
What does that mean?
It seemed to be an honor, Jelle.
What does that mean?
That's what it seemed like.
Okay.
But she didn't stay that way.
Oh no.
Before his eyes, the girl suddenly began to decay.
Oh no, she's growing old.
Oh no, spookums, guys.
Age.
I'm
The
real
true
scared,
horror.
y'all.
The true horror are mortality.
Black stripes coiled around her arms. Stripes? What? String appearing around her wrists, ankles, throat, and even as he simply limp in their position. Let me start that sentence over.
What?
Oh, I know what's going on. Okay. Black stripes coiled around her arms, string appearing around her wrists, ankles, throat, and even as he simply limp in their positions, it was clear she could be controlled at any second, like a puppet.
Oh, like a marionette.
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
That was described in the most awful way.
And there's a misspelling right in the middle of it that just really fucks up the sentence. Even as he simply limp in their positions. I don't... Even
what is that
as...
supposed to be? Even as he simply limp.
I think he is the problem here.
Yeah.
Right? Even as...
They? Like her
But then it's missing
legs?
like they were simply limp. Or like...
Yeah.
Even as... She...
But then
was.
it's their
Like it's
position.
still... Were or... Was is missing.
It's just off. An awful.
And even was... No. It's missing a lot in that middle part right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Like a puppet. That's when her eyes turned dead with tears streaming down the once beautiful face. A face that seemed like porcelain almost, cracked and missing pieces to reveal a black abyss beneath.
Yeah, like porcelain.
Yeah. The dress no longer glowed a warm light, but anger rolled off her in waves. Anger, as well as longing, sadness.
What? How are you getting all that, for one? For two, yeah, like porcelain, everybody knows there's a gaping abyss, inside every piece of porcelain.
To be fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen, like, a porcelain clown?
Oh, man, those things are so empty inside.
Yeah, like a little doll clown with, like, little porcelain hands and a porcelain face.
Don't stare into the porcelain clown. It will stare back in you.
I one time... my brother got me one of those for my birthday, and like, I picked it up, and it spoke to me, and it only said 2 words to me, and I'll never forget this because at that point I just chucked the thing in the trash, because I looked at him in the face and I was like, you're a little bit creepy, aren't you? And he said, "Be dead," and I was like, oh no, and I just chucked him in the trash.
Oh no. That's some anger as well as longing, sadness right there.
And, yeah.
Yeah, all of those things.
Seemingly. I knew you wouldn't be afraid, Mr. Stiller,
James
she murmurs.
Stiller.
Yeah. A genuine smile appears, leaving James to lean closer, wanting to know why he was given such a wonderful smile after what he saw. What? Do you have to, okay, anytime anybody smiles or does anything, do you, lean closer to figure out why? What's the purpose behind this?
That's really awkward, James. You should stop that.
Yeah, calm down. People have their reasons. It'll probably become clear in a minute, so you don't need to, get all up in their shit.
Yeah, also, if it doesn't, not your problem. Not your, none of your business.
If they're happy and they smile at you, maybe.
Let 'em be.
Don't make it all about you.
Yeah, just let people be smiling.
Maybe it's not that you deserved to get a smile from them, but maybe they're just happy and smiling and you're there.
Yeah, I mean, she is all like, I knew you wouldn't be whatever that means.
Fuck it, yeah.
I guess he does smile because of him, but I still don't get why he's all leaning up in her face. Her now no longer beautiful face with the whole cracks and the abyss.
Wow, how beautiful.
And her dead and anger, longing, sadness eyes.
Yeah, so she's happy, sad, and angry all at once.
Also, she feels longing.
Of who doesn't?
I seemingly feel longing.
So yeah, seems to be, yeah. What happened to her? Is she okay? She said to send for help, to save them. But does that mean there's more than her? Always the one to question. A glance away, then looking back up at the man. But always with the best intentions. So did she read his mind?
I have so many questions right now.
I have very few, actually.
Oh.
I'm just not interested.
Yeah, fair. Ma'am.
Mary, Mr. Stiller. Call me Mary.
It's only fair you call me James, then.
The man continues, smiling as the woman laughs. They're having a real good moment after this spookum.
Yeah, after this spookum, they're just you know what?
Ha ha ha!
We can interact
I'm a ghost
beings.
and you're a human. Let's be friends.
Sure.
I'm angry, but happy. And sad, but happy.
Good.
But as he asks the question haunting him of how he can help her and them, there's an echoing sound of a door slamming shut. Neither jump, but at James prepares to run, her eyes burn with anger, one that can never be satisfied.
Okay. that
Please.
satisfying one's anger. Something about that sounds off to me. Is that a weird thing to say? 'Cause
That seems weird to me, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a thirst for vengeance can't be satisfied. I get that. But like anger.
Anger is such a base emotion.
And anger's not really a thing that you want.
Yeah,
right?
you
like,
don't want to
wanting isn't part of anger, right? Anger is just like a feeling of negativity directed at something.
Yeah. But like you can satisfy curiosity.
Right, because curiosity implies that you want answers, or like
exactly.
if you're again thirsting for vengeance, you want vengeance. So that's something that can't be satisfied.
You want something to quench that.
Right, but then in this case, anger is just anger.
It's just anger. You don't generally people don't want
like maybe
people want
one that can never be I don't know, defeated or extinguished. Those would make sense. Yeah. Satisfied implies there's some sort of exchange.
Yeah.
Please. The air turns cold and 5 children appear before him, each about 8 years old, all Caleb's age.
Who the fuck's
all
Caleb?
With tears like the little boy, all silently pleading for protection like him. I like that this author has all the they have an AU built up around all their stories, and they just expect us to know all of it.
Yeah.
Like, we're just supposed to know who Caleb is, and who Mary is, and who Eggs was, and how Eggs and Springtrap hung out.
And how they're the best of pals.
Yeah. I don't know who's saying that. I guess
I think this is
James?
Fritz?
The redhead only stares up at him. Be weird if he could stare up at multiple people. No sort of recognition toward the horror guard.
Stop saying horror guard.
He keeps the horror in check.
Yeah.
I'm not horrified at all.
Well, no, you see, he guards the horror so that people don't damage it.
And it stays that way as all 5 seem to glitch. And each time they reveal red painted over them. Red that had originated from various wounds caused from a knife, either the slice of their neck, even their chest torn to shreds. It looked like something Vincent would have done to the original 5 he murdered so many years ago. Did Vincent get caught? And if so, is he dead? Or is he in prison?
Because otherwise...
Because James knows about some murderer, right? Like...
Yeah, that's what I'm getting here.
Okay.
Was I too late?
The cold seeping into his bones suddenly vanishes. Mary then stares at him. The children as well. Children, are they staring at him, or is Mary staring at the children as well?
I think the children are staring at James.
Yeah, I think so. But the beats of terror disappeared. Well, yeah, he's the horror guard. He's preventing that.
Yeah, also, wasn't it a whole point that he hasn't been afraid this entire time?
Oh, no, he was expressionless, but he was terrified.
Oh, he's just very good at compartmentalizing.
Or very bad at expressing himself.
That. Also very good possibility.
Silence
just imagine someone with the blankest expression, and they're just like, I'm terrified right now. I am almost pissing my pants. You wouldn't believe how incredibly terrified I am. Yeah, no shit, I wouldn't believe it. Look at your face.
Yeah, his heart is racing, but his face is blank.
That's impressive in a way.
It's kind of impressive, yeah. Silence and the want to understand the question that was asked.
I also want to understand.
I want to understand the sentence that was said.
Yeah.
Instead of an answer, the sound of thunder, along with a drop of water falling from the ceiling to splash across James's hand. The room falling into darkness before a spotlight shines on a single suit leaning against the wall.
Wasn't it already dark?
He's getting a weird vignette flashback thing going on right now.
Yeah.
A suit that looked like Springtrap before he rotted away. bright gold and ready to perform for the children. Except the only ones who had been standing inside the room seemed to be gone. All that was left was him and a figure leering over the suit with indecision. Harm him.
What?
A shivering figure as the suit twitches in agony. The man gone. The children watching with tears. I thought the children were gone.
I thought everything was gone. Can this story be gone?
It's about to be.
Oh, good. No, stop.
Save them. The man, having been spring-locked, only slumps, still shivering on the ground in his own spotlight. You're literally just describing the fucking cutscene.
Yeah.
From the game.
Yeah,
Only James is standing there going, "Oh no, please."
Oh no. I'm witnessing a crime that makes me complicit.
Except that the guy who's having this happen to him is the murderer, and it's like, what the fuck?
Question marks.
Yeah, big question marks floating above my head.
Mm-hmm. Please, you don't have to do this.
Someone there.
The flippin' end.
That's just where it ends.
You know what? The nice thing is, because this was all in Dutch, I understood it all perfectly.
Oh, okay. Can you give me a rundown of what happened? Because I was lost.
Nah.
It just seemed like a sequence of events that didn't mean hardly anything.
Listen. I would explain, but a lot of it is cultural, so you wouldn't get it.
Oh, okay. It's kind of like a... Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not fair.
It's very unfair.
It's pretty unfair. But it sucks, is the point.
God, you know what? I just want to listen to Aftermath by what's it called? By Caravan Palace again, because that was a lot nicer than this story.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to put it up right now. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll put a link in the description.
Yeah, I mean...
For something much better.
Yeah, I'd say, I'd recommend giving it a listen. I mean, if of course you don't enjoy it, then that's fair.
Yeah, it's whatever.
But
there are no reviews.
If you're into this kind of stuff, it's pretty good.
Yeah. And there are no reviews for the story, so that's the end. And let me just tell you, the author's name is Blame the Editor. I won't blame the editor. I don't think there was an editor.
No, there's nobody to blame.
Isn't it weird when you like read a story and at the end of it, you don't know, it's not even like I don't know why I read the story. It's like I don't know why you wrote the story.
I mean, like again, it's part of like this bigger AU, so maybe it makes sense with like the rest of this guy's stuff.
But then he said it's based on the song Aftermath, and like nothing in the song Aftermath
I mean, that has
is
two
reminiscent
problems.
of it, or like even the bullshit lyrics that you find you can find on Genius.
That's true.
They don't relate to it either.
Yeah, no, the bullshit lyrics sound like... Yeah, no. Just no. I think that's a good note to end on. Just no.
Thanks for watching. Special thanks to our patrons on Patreon, which we just started. None of our content is going to go behind a paywall, and the Discord is still going to be public, so they're just helping us out from the kindness of their hearts. More rewards for tiers might be added if there's interest in good ideas. If you'd like to contribute as a one-time thing, we have a PayPal as well. Relevant links below. Thanks for your time.